Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to Trinity College. My name is Mairead Brady and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the School of Computer Science and Statistics and to the School of Business. You are a unique group of people because you're sitting in this room because you have an interest in two disciplines. One is business, and I'm the representative from the School of Business. I'm one of the directors of the programme, and you also have an interest in computer science. So for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to talk you through or introduce you to our BA Moderateship in Computer Science and Business. So what is it all about, or why has Trinity designed a Computer Science and Business degree? Well, what you will be looking at is a study of everything to do with computers, from the pioneering theoretical discoveries on logic and calculation in the 19th century and the 20th century to the present day when computers have become pervasive, powerful and commonplace. Computers have revolutionized almost every aspect of business, of arts, of entertainment, of commerce, and we are supported in this world of computerization by business and the theories and practices therein. If you decide to join this particular degree program, you will be in a unique position to explore the concepts of computer science and also the area of business. So, what would you study? If you were here with us, each year you would study a set number of modules with a total of 60 credits under the European Credit Transfer Scheme. The first 2 years cover core basic building blocks in computer science and business, and then in the third year you specialise, the third and fourth year you specialise and you place the emphasis in with your key area of interest. I'll explain that in greater detail as we go along. So I'm going to introduce you to the two schools, but first I'll introduce you to the School of Business. So that's based over in the Áras Fíorsaigh building. The School of Business is quite a small school actually. We have an enormous undergraduate programme in the best faculty, as we will come to in a second. We also run an enormous number of postgraduate MAs and master programmes. We have about 50 PhD students, I'm looking at all areas of business, and we have a formal 21 member staff. So from our perspective in business, what way do we look at computer science or information technology? Well, the perspective we like to take is the idea of not necessarily the technology, but the information from that technology. So our sense is that it's data everywhere. There has been an explosion of data in the amount, the type, the frequency. And what people are saying is that data, or what we would call the patterns in that data, is going to be the next big business frontier. And big data may well become a corporate asset representing a key basis for competition. So this consumer information shift, which we will look at in a minute, will have the historic and economic significance of the Industrial Revolution. So that's one of the core reasons why we feel a computer science and business degree is of benefit to society and of benefit to the students who decide to take it. So we know that businesses understand the level of data out there, or know there's a huge amount of data out there, but though 85% of respondents say that information is a key strategic resource, only 7% of organisations felt that they were well positioned to use information as an asset. And that is a gap in the skill set out there in the business domain that we hope this course will help to fill. So data explosion as a universal game changer, chief marketing officers from outperforming organisations address these challenges differently. So there is a way to do this differently, and we hope to share that with you. So let's have a look at what we're looking at. The world's data is doubling every 2 years. The amount of data created in 2011 alone would be enough to fill 57.5 billion Apple iPads, which lined up would be the length of the Great Wall of China and twice its height. There is a lot of data and information out there. So we know ourselves, we're here in Ireland, a tiny little green spot in the middle of our map there. And if we just take, say, the hotel industry, just think of the amount of data that is being communicated globally around the world through TripAdvisor, Expedia, Google Maps, Facebook, etc. If we take that amount of data and then we take the systems internally in the organisation, as well as all the systems out there on the World Wide Web, and then we try and support companies in looking for something like feedback from this information, customer insights, and ultimately decision making. So the world of business has a huge data component and is also technology dominated. with a variety of different technological devices. So the School of Business wants you to look at this technology from a business perspective. And what I'll do now is show you the different types of courses we have and where the computer science and business course fits into it. So in general in the business school we do a single honours best student, which is the Bachelor of Business Studies. We also do, the students also can do single honour in economics, politics and sociology. We have joint programs though, and most of our courses are joint programs. So we have a joint business and politics, business and sociology, business and economics, business and languages, Polish, Spanish, French, German, etc. And then we have your one, the business and computer science. So I just show you that to show you that this is a normal way for us to operate in the business school where a lot of our students do business and. So where is the business and for you in the whole idea of points? Computer science and business had an increase of 45 points last year and has moved to points of 465. So we're very happy with those points. I'm not so sure you are, but we are. But and we would expect they'll probably go up a little. No, that's not good news for you guys, but the interest in this course has got very high and the number of places is static at around 30 to 35. So we can see that would obviously could increase the points. Our general degree, our largest degree, is the first one, the Bachelor's in Business Studies. But what this gives you a sense of is that in first year, you would be sitting in a room with all of these students. So there can be anything up to around 400 to 500 people in that room, in the first year room, and then you're all divided into your different courses. So, what's it like in the business school? Well, we do finance, international business, marketing, management and accounting, new product development, and we've most of the leading experts in the world in the business school. Most of the academics there have their own textbook, and it would be one of the leading textbooks in the world. So you're going to engage with a lot of professors that are very comfortable in their subject area and very comfortable in engaging with students. So over the 4 years, you have a huge range of subjects that you can dip in and out of as you pursue your degree here in Trinity. First year, and you've probably heard this before, or maybe you understand a little bit about Trinity, the first year is what we call a common entry platform. Everybody coming into BESS comes in the same way and does platform subjects. So in the first year, you would do, in the business school, Introduction to Management, Introduction to Economic Policy and Statistical Analysis. As you then go off to do computer science, the other students go off to do political science or sociology or whatever subjects they're interested in. But we have the large classes in first year, a common entry. So that's kind of a quick run through to the business side of it. Now I'm going to run you through the computer science side of it, and then I'll bring the two of them together to show you really what a day in your life would look like, or how you would engage with the course over the four years. So, an introduction to the School of Computer Science and Statistics, and my colleague Declan O'Sullivan is the course director in that area. They have roughly the same, about 550 undergraduates. They have a higher number of postgraduate students and a higher number of PhD students. I mean, they're one of the leading computer science faculties in Ireland, if not in the UK as well. And you would become one of that cohort. They research in all the key areas of business: computer science, software systems, intelligence systems, statistics, and information systems. And they're the research leaders in the Centre for Telecommunication Value Chain Research. Leroy, you probably haven't heard of, but it's the Irish Software Engineering Research Centre. They have the Centre for Next Generation Personalisation on the Web, terribly interesting area there. And then they have a number of successful spin-off companies. And that's a domain we would like to get into in more detail, because this mix between computer science and business should encourage an entrepreneurial orientation for you guys in the area of new business. So we have Havoc and Iona Technologies and a variety of others who have come out of a kind of a mix between of computer science and obviously startup businesses. So our sense of the computer science part of these modules is that the hardware must be understood. It has to be designed, it has to be manufactured and tested, and you would do that Introduction to Computing CS 1021. Then we look at the idea of software within the technology, and that must be designed, implemented and tested, and you look at that as Introduction to Programming. Then these hardware systems and software systems must be deployed, managed and maintained, and that's what we call business computing systems, and you do that in first year as well. And underneath all of this, maths is underpinning most of what you're doing in computer science. science and to a certain extent what you're doing in business. So you have to have an understanding of the core concepts of maths, and they have a mathematics course in first year, and that looks at programming, or looks at maths within programming, computer graphics, visions, games, etc. So where do you start? The first thing about understanding this course is to look at the handbooks, and I can see a lot of you have them. Look at the course content within them, and then we also have a brochure which will give you the more details on it. So if you do decide to accept this or to put this down in your CAO form, in the first year you would do the following subjects. For business, you do Introduction to Organisation and Management, Introduction to Economics, Introduction to Stats, and Maths. Then within computer science, you do Introduction to Programming, Programming Projects, Introduction to Computing, and Business Computing Systems. In the second year, in business, you do Management 1, Management 2. Now, Management 1 is made up of finance, accounting, marketing, human resources, new product development, and organisation and management. So you can see us giving you a very strong grounding in all the major business subjects. You also then, in second year, do further programming techniques, telecommunications and information management, and system programming or system analysis and design. Now, it's in the third year that Trinity becomes a little bit more unique in that we call Trinity the pick and mix university, because after first and second year, where we do dictate to you what you need to do, in third and fourth year, we say to you, you decide. You decide what you would like to do and how you would like to design this course. So as long as you do, a third in business and 2/3 in computer science, or 2/3 in business and a third in computer science, or any mix thereof, as long as there's a third in one of them, you can really decide how you orientate this degree. So after third year, you get to choose from a whole range of business subjects and a whole range of computing subjects. So you just choose 6 out of them. You can take 4 in business and 2 in computer science, or 3 in business, 3 in computer science, etc., etc. And it really gets to be a choice domain, and I think this is one of the features of the course that a lot of the students like. And then again in fourth year, exactly the same. The classes get much smaller in third and fourth year. You'll be in classes of maybe 50 or 60 as the students take different choices and they design the degree to suit them. So it's that type of idea. Once the student is at an age when they can make the decision and they have the subject areas in first and second, we allow them to make them in third and fourth. So what would a day look like, or a week in your life look like? You would have a timetable not dissimilar to this one, which is the 2011 and 2012. You would have a variety of classes, some in the business school, some in computer science, and then you'll have study periods within your day as well. So, looking to the future, Ireland has one of the highest concentrations of ICT activity and employment in the OECD countries. 7 of the world's top 10 ICT companies are operated here, and operate here. ICT accounts for 50 billion in Irish exports, and this is set to grow. So if this is a course you're thinking of taking, there is opportunities out there in the business world when you leave us. So your key buildings will be the arts buildings for business, and the Lloyd Institute here, the O'Reilly building, which is over there, and the Hamilton building. So your life here in Trinity will be shared among these different buildings. So we're also here to help, particularly in the computer science area. We have the Program Support Centre, the Mathematics Help Room. Your lecturers are all very amenable. Your tutors are a fantastic system within Trinity, where every single student gets a tutor at the beginning of their life in Trinity, and they manage or monitor or support them throughout. And then obviously you have myself and Declan as the course directors. You also have all the student societies here in Trinity. You have the Computer Science Society, the NetSoc Society, and then you have the Dublin Business School Society as well. So that's your introduction to the BA Mothership in Computer Science and Business. We think it's a degree of the future. We're delighted with this amalgamation of business and computer science. I hope I've given you some insight into what it'd be like, the subjects you would engage with, and that I think it's a super mix of business and computer science, giving the student who decides to take this degree a unique competency out there in the market. So I'll finish up there, but I will now take the opportunity to take any questions and answers, a questions and answers session. So are there any questions? Yes. That's yourself, yes.
So for the CAO to do
It's a fantastic question. Actually, the last slide jumped off for some reason, because the last slide actually gives you the code. Let me just see, can I get it there up? Yeah, this slide here. Yes, does that come up? Yeah, that's a super question. Put down the course code TR082. It's a super question. A lot of people will come in on the best. And that's on separate points and all that. You're coming in separately, and you're coming in under computer science and business. And then you just compete. You actually want to do that because you only compete with the people that have applied for that particular subject area. So a super question there. TR08. Yes?
Is it possible, though, if you did go for the best one, to go on to do computer science and business course?
And the whole idea of changing degree once you're accepted under a degree is very formalised within Trinity. What could happen is you do the first year in computer science and business and decide, no, I want to do business, but then you have to go back and do if you get accepted, you have to go back and do the first year in business again. So it isn't, oh, I didn't get that one, I can jump onto that one. They're very distinct. Did you get the points? Did you get an offer? Did you get accepted? And then to change that once you're in the system is quite a challenge. We've had it happen, and we've had students that have changed within. So let me say this: maybe we might have all 500 students. We might have 2 that manage that have come in. Maybe somebody come in from engineering who want, but it is quite a challenge to do it. So I wouldn't use it as an option. It's not a backdoor into best. The real problem is if the points are higher in best than in computer science, and you didn't get those points. That's a real issue or an offer. Is that all right? Yeah. Yes.
You were saying you can choose your own modules and stuff in the third year. Can you choose to focus solely on computing? Is there that option there?
Very good question again. No, and you cannot focus solely on computer science at the end or business. But I will tell you just one little anomaly in it. So we demand that you have at least a third in the other subject. You can do 50-50, but you must do a third. So some of the students will do a third in computer science, 2/3 in business, and some will do it the other way around, right? In the final year, we will allow almost complete dominance in business if you want, but you must do the computer science project, and it's in programming, and it's a computer science project. So we're still holding a third there. My sense of it is that the students do orientate to one or the other, and they also they see what the world is looking like, what the world needs, and at the moment they make the decision dependent on that. But you must do 1/3. Did you have a question? Yes.
Can you do a year abroad and then get the international?
A unique feature of this particular course is that there is no availability of a study abroad year in this course. Now, there is a study abroad year in a lot of the business and the computer science, but in computer science and business, for a variety of reasons, we cannot, or we have no ability to allow the students to leave in the third year. They wouldn't be able to do the computer science project in the 4th year, etc., etc. So there is no Erasmus on this particular degree. Yes, right at the very top, at the very back.
Work experience period,
again, there's no work experience in this degree at all. Most students will work during the summer, and they will be encouraged to work in Google and Intel, etc., etc. And the businesses love these degree students because they love that mix of computer science and business. And it's a reasonably new degree. It's the first time we'll have fourth year students this year. So no, we don't in Trinity organise any placement at all on this particular degree. Yes?
If you were to do, say, 1/3 in computers and business, would you do a master's in a computer degree, or would you have to go for a business degree?
Oh, so once you finish the degree, you decide to go for a master's, it would all depend on on what grade you got, and also on what masters you were doing. It wouldn't necessarily say, I wouldn't definitely say no, you wouldn't be able to do a master's. Because if you decided to say you're doing a master's in data management, or you're doing a master's in web personalization, or you're doing a master's in, social media, it all depends. You make those decisions. That's the nice thing about the pick and mix. At 3rd year, you're starting to think of your masters. You'll be, so you can design your course to suit. So all 30 of you will come in exactly the same, but all 30 of you leave slightly differently, which I think is a nice feature. No, it doesn't necessarily. But obviously, you're not going to go into a straight master's in computer science, having only done 1/3 of computer science in your final year. Is that all right? And also, you know, the computer science lectures would give you a lot of insight and support and help in that area, and you'd be very, you know, you'd be very familiar with that before you had to make that decision. Any other questions? Yes?
Sorry, there are 30
Places.
here. What happens if it's oversubscribed?
It is always oversubscribed, and that's why that's why the points have gone up, because there's more people who want to do it. Well, that's it. You just at 30 we stop. 30, 35, but at that we stop, and there's no more places.
So it's assessed on the highest points.
The highest points. Yeah, so I mean that's why I'm saying is as interest keeps growing, and even I can see like this is even bigger than last year, you know. So as interest keeps, and we have 2 of these today. So as interest keeps growing, the points will go higher. But in that way, if you get accepted, you'll be delighted because you're one of only 30 in the country. Yes.
Sorry, does everyone say a number for 65 points? Would they have been offered
Yes, if there isn't an asterisk beside the 465, that means everybody at 465 was offered. Normally in BEST, you'll see our points will be like 485 with an asterisk. That means that I just think it's a horrific situation that with the people with 485 were all put into a hat, and whatever number of them they needed, they took. So it meant that you could have 485, I think it was last year, and still not get BEST. But at the 465, everybody got offered computer science and business. That asterisk will tell you whether that happened or didn't happen. All right, 465, and that was a 45% increase in the points. So, do you think it looks like an interesting course? Is this something you're? Have I encouraged you even more than you were? Oh, look at that, all the smiles and the nods. I would say this because I'm a director of the course, but I really feel it is a super course. I think that match of computer science and business, and it gives the students such a broad, you know, perspective and a super asset for the business world. Will I finish up there? Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.